Hello, beloved. I'm Angie Hipple. Welcome to the Judah channel. If it's your very first time or your 1000th, I'm so glad that you are here. You being here tells me something about you. It tells me that you're a loving, compassionate person, not a perfect person, but a person that really wants to be their best, highest self, wants to be connected to their eternal purpose and living it day to day in their life. And I just want to congratulate you for being that person and for showing up for yourself. So let's hear from the Pleiadians High Council today. Yes. Hello, beloveds, all around the world. It is our great pleasure to serve you at all times and in every conceivable way. We are constantly working behind the scenes on your behalf. Some of you are aware of our presence and are beginning to have more conscious conversations with us, and others of you are not. We are simply an idea, perhaps, in your mind, and that is fine as well. We can do all that we want to do and need to do on your behalf with or without your conscious awareness of our presence. We understand that as humans you have concept around boundaries, and we understand this concept is very important for the stage of your evolution, for there are many who live in darkness, density, much projection, they have a lot of pain, and so to live without boundaries with such said souls can produce and perpetuate more pain and trauma in your experience. However, from our perspective, speaking of the way we operate in regards to our relationship with you and the human family, there is less of a need for these said boundaries because we do dwell in a more perfected state of unconditional love, of unconditional acceptance of who you are, of where you are in your journey of evolution, and we operate in a very high wisdom in comparison to what would be common for you. Again, not a perfected state, but a very divine state of love and wisdom. And therefore, we can and do trust ourselves to operate in ways that are respectful of who and what you are, of your perfect journey, your perfectly imperfect journey, and we trust ourselves to work on your behalf in ways that are beneficial and life-affirming to you and unintrusive. Yes? And so thereby, we do not always ask your permission, having this level of trust and also the sanction of your divine creator. Yes? And so if you can, rest in the comfort of knowing that not only we Pleiadians, but many other guides are continually working on your behalf. We understand that because of legend, because of lore, because of mythology, because of religious indoctrination, many of you have fears around beings that you cannot see, beings in the unseen realm. You are afraid of their intrusion or that they might do you harm. We encourage you to rest easy and allay this fear. Are there darker, denser, more nefarious energies in the world? Of course. Yes, but we want you to know that these are the minority. There are so many more that are for you than there are those that are against you. Yes, and you are never left alone or to your own devices with these nefarious types of creatures. In fact, occasionally we allow their interference, knowing that it will point to you some crack in your field of consciousness, some unresolved pain or hurt in your field that is of a similar nature to the nefarious character that has been attracted to you. Be it a nefarious character in a human form or in an unseen, out-of-the-body form. And so we allow this, knowing that it will only act as a catalyst for your growth, for your awareness and understanding. Yes, 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 yes. As is sometimes said, the shepherd will allow the sheepdog to nip sheep on the heels, or even give them a little bite when they have gone astray and have gone into an area that might cause them harm or danger. Yes, now we're not implying that you are sheep. Not at all, not at all. There are some humans who are, yes, still unaware and unconscious, and the metaphor might apply to them. And so there may be occasionally a nip on the heels by some intrusive field of consciousness in order to rally them back into safety, community, love, and care. And all of these things, we encourage you not to ever fret or worry about any of these things. Know that you are loved, you are guided, you are cared for. Yes, 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 yes. And the Christ himself urged you many, many, many times in the red letters, do not fear, do not fear, do not fear. And this is a large goal that we have for you, dear ones. We hope you will embrace it for yourself, that you be a completely fearless being. Now, there are, of course, the natural things that you should be afraid of. Yes, in order to keep your physical vehicle safe, you don't step out into traffic and such things. Yes, and there is, yes, some benefit from these instinctual fears. But in general, as a whole, there are so many subtle fears that you as humans have adopted that really do not serve you well. They keep you in bondage. They keep you small. They keep you isolated. And we really hope that you will adopt this goal of dropping all of those. As is sometimes said in your cultures, feel the fear and do it anyway. Yes, yes. And so many of you need to literally overcome your fears by facing them dead on. And you will find that many times when you confront your fears, you will find them deflating like a balloon that is suddenly released, and all of the air goes out of it, and then it's nothing but a shell. So fear has a tendency of inflating itself in your perception, yes, of your reality. False evidence appearing real, yes. And most fears are only imaginations with very little groundedness in reality. We love you so much, precious ones. It is our goal and desire for you to be more at ease, more at peace, more stable in your emotional life. We encourage you not to grapple inwardly with troubled feelings, but to find safe and loving communities in which you can express yourself, be heard, and not be patronized or mocked in your feelings, but received with radical acceptance in whatever way you present yourself to your spiritual family. This vessel, we are picking up on a concern that she has, that there is cultural trend of no contact, in which many persons cut out their bloodline family and other significant persons in their life in an attempt to move towards freedom and healing. And we understand there are some rare cases in which this is absolutely necessary for physical health, emotional health, and restoration. However, we do, yes, agree with this vessel that it is a cultural trend which is damaging many, many people who are hurting and in pain, and they falsely believe that this no contact will alleviate their suffering. And so when they choose or adopt this strategy due to this idea that has been planted in their mind by interactions in the culture, they may find themselves isolated and very alone without any meaningful human contact. And this, my dears, is not good for you. We wish for you instead to adopt a more open and allowing, yes, a more open and allowing perspective, for hardness of heart and closing the heart to others will not breed healing, will not bring restoration for you. And so we are not making a blanket statement here, for each and every situation is unique. However, we encourage you not to make such drastic measures of cutting out your partners, your children, your parents, your grandparents, until you have sought much wise counsel. Yes? Wise counsel. If you are in a situation in your life in which you do not have wise, loving counsel from earth angels who are steps ahead of you, we encourage you to seek out and find these communities of support in which you are heard, understood, loved, and accepted. And you must begin to make yourself known, my dears. Too many of you receive advice from persons, friends, colleagues, neighbors, also from spiritual advisors such as this one, and you give them limited information about yourself with which to respond. And so their responses do not always involve the entire picture of everything going on in your larger field of consciousness, in your life experience, in this lifetime and in other lifetimes as well. And so their guidance or advice to you is many times ill-advised. So take all advice with a grain of salt, my dears. Yes? We are retrieving a memory from this vessel's experience when she was a young wife and mother of 3, and her partner was struggling with addiction, and there was much chaos related to the addiction, and this dear mother feared for her children's safety and was growing very weary. However, many of her friends, more than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, told her, you must leave. This is not a good situation and it will not change. However, there was an inner knowing within her own inner being. This was wisdom. This was high wisdom that came in her inner being that said to her, well, what my friends may be saying is true. However, they will not be there to feed my children, to provide for my children, to put a roof over their head. They will not be here to protect my children when they are in unsupervised visitation with my former spouse, should I decide to end the relationship. And this was very wise thinking on her part, and she did ultimately find communities in which she found strategies in order to mitigate the suffering and heal herself and provide more safety, emotional, physical, and mental safety and care for herself and her children. She remembers entering a room with a spiritual community and listening to the story of an elderly woman who had lived very many years in total peace and serenity with a spouse very similar to her own. And this awoke her to the possibility of making, as Judah says, a U-turn, Y-O-U-turn, into her own inner being and looking at ways that she contributed to the suffering of her family and her situation, in order that she might alleviate much of this suffering. So we are saying all of this to you today to encourage you. Please do not make rash, life-altering choices, such as leaving a partnership, quitting a job, moving to another city, based on the limited understanding and insight of friends, colleagues, family members, based upon something you hear in passing on the internet, based on internet trends of no contact or other such trends that encourage rash decisions. We encourage you to know this. We and Judah angels and so many other guides are with you continually, even if you are in very dark and difficult circumstances. And sometimes the best thing to do is to do nothing. Now, there is time also to take action, yes, particularly if you are in immediate physical danger. There are subtleties around all of these decisions to be made, and your situation is unique to you, but perhaps common to many. And so you must bring yourself into communities where you can share in depth, in detail, make yourself known to others and your situation, so that you can gather wisdom, love, support for whatever choices you make, be they to do nothing or to do something. Yes? Now, we understand some of you are in communities where it is difficult to find healthy, high-vibrational, enlightened persons with which to connect. But we assure you, you can create this connection for yourself. Set the intention, I am going to find a high vibrational community of loving and accepting persons to be a part. I am going to find a spiritual family of intention to support my journey, and keep asking us and angels. We are working behind the scenes on your behalf to help you encounter this family and join it, yes? And then be faithful, show up for yourself, show up for your family of intention, show up with love, show up without judgment for yourself or for others, show up with a listening ear, yes, 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 yes. There is so much that you can learn. We see that many of you have learned from the stories this vessel shares with you from her own experience. Know this, when you share your experience with another, you bring light to their path, yes? When you share with love, when you share without shaming yourself, when you share yes, with respect for yourself and for others. We are not telling you to bare your soul and share all your secrets with others. You must learn the subtlety, the subtle art of trust, of love, of sharing. Yes? Many of you even have heard in these spiritual communities, drop your story. Well, we understand what is meant by this, and we can concur with the importance of sometimes, if you are rehashing or retelling your story over and over in a state of grief, victimization, self-pity, in an ego state of wanting and needing to feel special by sharing how miserable you are and how special you are because you have endured so much pain. Yes, we understand there is a time then, if this is the motivation, to stop telling your story, stop repeating it, stop digging the grave, the grave, so to speak, for your higher self by retelling the story. However, there is a time and there is safe places in which you need to tell your story. You need to leave your secrets in the arms of angels and earth angels. You need to unburden yourself from aspects of your story that are keeping you in suffering and pain because of the secrecy. And this vessel listens to many of you share in this way, and she perceives it to be one of the highest privileges and honor of her life to have you leave with her your secret and be unburdened by it permanently, eternally, forever, as she works with Judah to clear it from your field of consciousness, your larger field of consciousness in every realm of time and space. And it is a delight for her to serve you in this intimate and safe and privately protected way. And we honor her request. She asks us and Judah to then erase the stories from her mind unless they are of need again in the future. And we do. We release also from her inner being and her field the stories and secrets that are told. Now, we have shared enough with you for today. We love you, and we are very honored that you spent this time with us today. Good. Beautiful. Wow, that was so beautiful. I love the Pleiadians so much. They really minister to me a lot. They have such a peaceful and emotionally stable presence, and they exist in their field of consciousness and in the dimensions that they live in. They have total mastery over their emotional state and their thought life and the way those two interact. And so it's always wise to call on them when you need help with emotional stability and support. There's so much that they gave in that message. I hope you'll dig in and follow through on any of that that resonated for you. We do have a beautiful community, a spiritual community that's online on Telegram. When you download the Telegram app and then ask to be allowed into the group Judah Family International, there are many, many loving people there. It's a very, very safe place to be. We do have guidelines for how we interact with one another, and I'm not there policing anyone, but together, the group members really make it a safe place for you to be who you are, to be heard. You're never judged there. No one gives you advice there and tells you how to live. They share their own experiences on this crazy, wild journey called awakening and enlightenment. And it's so amazing because so many times I'll read a message on the feed and I'll think, ooh, I need to take a few moments to answer that in the next few hours. And when I go back to answer it with my own shares from my life, I find that someone in the group, or many people sometimes in the group, have already shared this gorgeous, beautiful high wisdom on the feed in response to that person, and they've gotten exactly what they needed. And it's not a place for us to advertise our things we're doing or promote our stuff. This group is for people who are serious about their own spiritual growth and healing and enlightenment and awakening, and they're serious about being real and being supported in that. So we'll make sure that our team puts a link below for you so that you can join the group. We'd love to see you there. And thank you again for being here. We do have fun things coming up, so always go to our website, TheJudahChannel.com. We have a neat variety of free things, very inexpensive events where you can ask Judah questions or get in on a group healing. And then we have our more dense courses that cost more, where you can get in the room with me and Judah and others and really go deep. I teach all the skills that I've developed in my relationship with Judah. I teach it all. I lay it all out there for anyone who's wanting to learn. And it is a high privilege and a joy. All right, I love you guys so much. Please take a moment and share this video with someone if it was meaningful to you or someone crossed your mind. And I know they'll feel honored to receive it. And take a moment to hit that like button and give it a thumbs up to support us. And we appreciate that so much. All right, see you soon. Hello, precious one. I'm Angie Hipple. Welcome to my beautiful mountain home. This is where I love to spend my mornings with my tea and my daily quote from Judah. Just commune in nature for a while and meditate on those 1 or 2 lines in my daily quotes that are those golden nuggets of wisdom that Judah has given us. Our team works really hard to sift and sort through hundreds of hours of channeling to find those one-liners that we most need to remember. And then they put them in the daily quotes for us. So join the thousands of people all around the world. Tomorrow morning, join me, join Judah, read that daily quote, set a beautiful intention for your day. We love to serve you in this way. You can sign up in the link below or go to TheJudahChannel.com to subscribe to daily quotes. I'll see you tomorrow morning.